It is a spectacular Friday evening here in Palo Alto, California, as football season is here again. It's West Bay game night from Honore Field and Viking Stadium in Palo Alto. Tonight, the San Benito High School Hollister Hay Balers visit the Palo Alto High School Vikings. Hello, everybody. I'm Trevor Felch. It's great to have you with us for another season of high school football. We thoroughly enjoyed our inaugural year last fall here on the Palo Alto Media Center, and it's great to be back here as well. And, of course, the big excitement tonight, well, it has to do on the field and also with the stadium as a whole. This is the opening game of the 2013 season for the Vikings. Last year ended in disappointment in the first round of the CCS playoffs, defeated by Sarah High School. Meanwhile, across the way, San Benito, actually the CCS Division I champions, looking to repeat their success from 2012. The other major excitement here, not only a new season, but also a new era, stadium-wise, as the refurbishment and renovation of Honore Field and the newly christened, or the new name at least, of Viking Stadium is here, and they are cutting all the tape and all the pomp and circumstance. As you can see, those two gentlemen there on the field, the head coach of the Palo Alto Vikings, Earl Hansen, and his protege, if you will, his former quarterback back in the early 80s, a recognizable figure in the San Francisco Bay Area. That would be head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Jim Harbaugh, who will be the honorary captain for Palo Alto today. It's now time for tonight's national anthem. Well, all you need now is the flyover by the military jets. The national anthem before tonight's San Benito and Palo Alto football game. That was a 40-yard long American flag unfurled from one 30-yard line to the other. And I can safely say, in all my years attending events at high schools, I think that's the first time I've seen fireworks go off, or at least legal ones. Very impressive pregame ceremony, and in just a few moments will be the ceremonial coin toss, and the honorary captain for the Vikings is the 49ers head coach, Jim Harbaugh, not to be mistaken with the Minnesota Vikings. And so this is also the beginning of a new season. Actually, only for Palo Alto. San Benito already has played. They were one of the very few teams in the Bay Area to begin their 2013 season last week, and they're already 1-0. So they've already gotten that first win out of the way by defeating Pioneer High School 31-14 on the road, too. They're opening the season with 3 games on the road before they head back to with 2 games before they face Los Gatos in Hollister, as Jim Harbaugh has been introduced to the crowd, receiving a standing ovation from both the Hollister visitors and the Viking faithful. Doesn't seem like Coach Harbaugh is actually participating in the coin toss. Let's see if we can listen in here to tonight's official, Kenny Jackson. There's the coin toss. A very impressive coin toss indeed by Coach Harbaugh. Looks like San Benito has won the toss. And Palo Alto will receive in the south end zone. Sounds like our referee Kenny Jackson is so excited to meet Jim Harbaugh that his microphone has decided to be a bit of a challenge for us. The Palo Alto captains this year, all seniors: Malcolm Davis, the wide receiver; Keller Christ, the quarterback; wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson; fullback Andrew Frick; Connor Shield; Jack Anderson, one of the tackles in charge of protecting Keller Christ; and Justin Rittman, the other tackle. And that actually has been one of the main stories coming into this season, obviously. We'll get into the Keller Christ story. For those who don't know, obviously he is one of the most highly touted prospects ever to be a Palo Alto Viking, and he will be making the long commute across the El Camino Real over to Stanford Stadium for next season. But it is a very young offensive line, other than the two tackles, Anderson and Rittman, but new starters at the two guard positions and center. And it will be their responsibility to make sure Christ has the opportunity to throw the football, to have the necessary time to hit his very talented targets like Keyshawn Johnson and Malcolm Davis. And as what happens in high school and college, you do have the seniors graduate, and a host of very gifted seniors last year graduated from Palo Alto, led by their great running back, Matt Tolbert. So it will be interesting to see how the 2013 edition of the Vikings will emerge. A little bit disappointed by how last year ended, not even getting a victory in the CCS playoffs. And that comes a year after they went undefeated 14-0 the entire year, won the Santa Clara Valley Athletic League Conference, and won the entire Central Coast section open division. So here we go. A new stadium. Well, in theory, actually, the new stadium began in 2007 when the artificial grass surface was implemented at Andre Field, and slowly but surely, if you know anything about how construction and education bureaucracy works, nothing happens just immediately. And last year, they got the new Snack Shack facility, and this year, we now have a beautiful new press box and an elevator even to reach the press box level. The 2013 season ready to go for the Palo Alto Vikings. Glad you could be with us. This is also the first ever live sports broadcast here on the Palo Alto Media Center. Glad you're along with us on this gorgeous evening for football. It's the San Benito Hay Balers and the Palo Alto High School Vikings. And we are underway as San Benito kicks off from our left to right, heading towards the end zone, but out of bounds just shy of the pylon. Or did it actually make it into the end zone? It looked like it ended. No, it did go into the end zone. So that is a touchback, in Keller Christ, and the Viking offense will begin their first drive of 2013 from their own 20-yard line. So here is Keller Christ, senior quarterback for the Palo Alto Vikings. 6'4", 230. And a sharp thrower indeed. Starting at our center with an offset eye to the left on 1st and 10. Play action, looking left, now throwing over the middle, has a man caught. First down and more. Out to the 40-yard line for a gain at 20. Completing to the senior tight end, Tully McAllister. And already the Vikings looking very sharp. 18-yard gain to the 38-yard line. And some of the other names to keep an eye on, you just saw the tight end McAllister. Marcus Brown, a senior halfback, should be getting a majority of the carries. The key wideouts are both senior captains, Malcolm Davis and Keyshawn Johnson. I formation and a handoff up the middle. No gain there. On 1st and 10 for the Vikings. The carry by Jason Pickett. And the stop made by one of the unnumbered individuals on San Benito. We'll just call him by number 64. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Just getting started, no score in the opening minute of tonight's game. Here's Pickett with the handoff running right, brings a couple tackles across the 45. To the 46-yard line, brings up a 3rd down and short coming up for the Vikings. 3rd and 3 now for Palo Alto. It's the sun setting to our west. The lights almost in full effect right now. I would guess the temperature is about 60 degrees area, and it will be getting colder as the night continues. In motion left to right, Malcolm Davis back to pass. Chris slings it over the middle, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Keyshawn Johnson. And the coverage applied there by Guillermo Regalado. So after that opening pass completion from Chris, not a whole lot for the Viking offense, and they will be punting to conclude the opening drive here with 10:26 left in the first quarter. And the punt from Olivera Charlie bounces around the 25 and to a rest at the 16-yard line, down by the Vikings' Sean Pike. The Hay Balers now get their first chance on offense with 10:15 left here in the first quarter. Well, I don't know if we'll be having the guest of honor tonight, Jim Harbaugh, join us or not. The honorary captain for the Palo Alto Vikings. He did join us last year. We could make this sort of an annual meeting between he and I. So Stanton, the quarterback, on 1st and 10 over the middle. Incomplete, and it looked as if it was intended for the Viking cornerback, Keyshawn Johnson. In fact, Cody Freitas was the intended wide receiver, but that pass looked like it was heading into the hands of Keyshawn Johnson, and he just didn't know what to do with it. Stanton under center now, 2nd down and 10. From his own 16-yard line, it's a pitch coming near side. Here's Chris Blake, and Blake is stopped right after the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1. Nice stop by the Vikings' Justin Rittman. 3rd down and long, 3rd and about 8 coming up here for the Hay Balers. Paly riding a 1-game win streak against the Hay Balers last year. Victorious 40-23. That game contested in Hollister. Stanton quick drop, slings it far side, complete to Blake, but he's immediately wrapped up by Andrew Frick. And that is the story for the first drive of the Hay Balers. 3 and out. Both teams have to punt to conclude their first drives. And back to receive for Palo Alto is Keyshawn Johnson. Johnson been a busy man. He's been targeted offensively. Almost has an interception now. He's back to punt. Waiting for the punt from John Keynes. Juggles it. Picks it up at the 46-yard line. The ball is called down right at the 46-yard line. So that is where Keller Christ and the Viking offense return. It seems as if Christ was just on the field. 8:52 left here in the first quarter. No score. Just getting started. I'm Trevor Felch with you on the Palo Alto Media Center. Our first ever live broadcast. This is not a test. We are not editing this. This is the real game, not last year's edition. Split backs behind Keller Christ here on 1st down and 10. Vikings looking to had more than just one first down like they did in the opening drive. Quick drop pass complete to Johnson. Near side breaks a tackle. First down and more. Inside the Hay Baylor 45 and down to about the 40-yard line of Hollister. Christ connecting with Keyshawn Johnson, looking very sharp there. Passing-wise, Christ is 2 for 3 here in the early going. And I don't know if officially, so this is San Benito High School, but many people also refer to them as Hollister High School or the San Benito Hollister High School. So I might just, from time to time, call them both. Here's a pitch to Romaine Ward, stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And the tackle made by Nicasio. 2nd and 10 coming up. If he can point out like who makes tackles.
Say what?
If he can point out who makes tackles.
Okay. The numbers, right? Okay.
And now here on 2nd and 10. Numbers.
Yeah, have a seat. Or, yeah.
And Keller Christ is sacked. Or if you can just do, or if you can broadcast. Do you want to broadcast?
Yeah, what do I do?
That's okay. He's here. He's just here to turn you around.
No, I'll do it.
Sorry, we're on the air live right now.
Okay,
Do I just announce what happened in the play or what?
Yeah, you just, if you can be the analyst and just kind of. As we've been having somebody trying to join here as an analyst, the fun of live television. Now it's 3rd down and 23 from the 47-yard line. Chris under center with 3 wideouts. Looking left, he throws left, and it is caught. But out of bounds shy of the first down at the 37-yard line of San Benito. Johnson with the reception. And Casiccio with the stop brings up a 4th down and 7 with 6:50 and counting to go here in the first quarter.
All right, folks, Eric Leadroy joining you here to commentary as well.
Okay, Eric, glad to have you here.
Looks like we got the punting unit out here.
And Paly with their 2nd punt of the night. Trying to pin San Benito deep in their own territory. Fair catch called for and made at the 8-yard line there by San Benito. And that is where they will begin their next drive. So glad to have you here, Eric.
Glad to be here as well.
Do you have any experience broadcasting before, or this is?
Yeah, I happen to yell at my TV screen a lot, so I'm hoping to be able to bring that that's knowledge that I have of watching football, and hopefully this is actually my first time broadcasting.
Oh, well, there's always that.
Got to start somewhere.
Exactly that initial.
I've done a couple commentaries though for sports games before.
Okay.
This is my first football game, however.
All right. Sounds good. Well, 2nd down and 8 coming up here for the San Benito Hay Baylors. Now, do you know much about either of these two teams?
Well, I was a Palo Alto student, so I know quite a lot about the Vikings and their very successful seasons previous years. Definitely interesting to see what happens this year. As the years change, the players change.
Absolutely, and they're hoping to try and get past that initial hurdle that they didn't last year and get that victory in CCS. 3rd down and 2.
We got some tough defense here. Look at that.
Quarterback sneak. The ball is loose. Fumble on the play, and the Vikings are saying they have it. And that would be critical, being in the red zone, and indeed a turnover by cornerback David Stanton on the cornerback keeper. And a costly fumble recovered by the Palo Alto defense, and the Vikings will take over
on the
at
20.
the 20-yard line. One here for San Benito.
Yeah, this looks like a scoring drive very easily can take place here. Plus, we've been seeing some pretty good receptions here from the Vikings. I could definitely see a nice play coming right here.
Marcus Brown moves in motion for the fullback position out to the flat.
There we go.
Chris
there we go.
back to pass, looking for the end zone. Incomplete.
Overthrow.
Intended for Keyshawn Johnson. Sequestered there into the back left corner of the end zone. Brings up 2nd down and 10 now. That was Guillermo Regalado on the coverage. No score here at Honore Field. Big crowd on hand, the Viking faithful. Certainly a little still trying to just come down off that emotional high from the whole pregame ceremony, and now they're starting to focus. Okay, it's game time now. 2nd and 10 in the 20. Deep drop for Chris. Fires right side. Has Johnson. Breaks one tackle. Inside the 5. Down to the 3-yard line. And a late flag comes in. Thrown by the referee in the backfield. So we will momentarily pause to see if this is coming back. And it looks like it is. Maybe a holding. Not seeing the replay if we can catch where exactly it was. Oh, somebody just falls. You see that number 60 in the corner of your screen there for San Benito, but we didn't actually see what one of the Viking players did to him, but it was a personal foul penalty, and you don't see too many personal foul penalties on the offense.
Was it a linebacker or something, or was it actually in the reception?
Well, it looked like it was away from the play, almost as if it was a blocker. So instead of having 1st and goal at about the 3-yard line, the Vikings now have a 2nd and we can figure out the math, or a 1st down. It's 1st down, but 1st and long.
It looks like 2nd down. 2nd and 10.
Okay, so they are calling it a 2nd and 10.
Ball on the 20.
But
so.
on the marker on the field is saying first. Now it's 1st down. It's 1st down at the 18-yard line. It was a spot foul, I think, because they started the last play at the 20-yard line. Anyhow, play action. Chris
and he's got
throws near side, complete at the 8-yard line. And
number 12.
Guess who? It's Keyshawn Johnson once again, and yet again Regalado on the coverage. Beautifully orchestrated play action there. Nice mechanics, and Christ making the completion. One of the things that Christ worked on a lot in the offseason was his footwork. Trying to stand more comfortably in the pocket, allowing him to really scan the field more efficiently, make a nice, steady pass. I mean, last year, earlier in his career, he always looked as cool as a cucumber there in the pocket, but now he's trying to even take that to one more level higher. Looks like we might be having a measurement to determine whether or not that was a 1st down. Well, so far, Eric, I would say Chris looks like what we expected. Very sharp. He hasn't really been throwing into any sort of coverage, though.
Yeah, the passes look on point. I think the Vikings are surprising this defense at this point. Maybe more so than before.
Yeah,
I see a scoring drive here, for sure.
In the first drive, they tried to mix and match with the rushing and passing. I'd like to see 2 plays each. Here they're just throwing the football.
I'd like to see more effective running plays for sure, though, because it hasn't seemed to be very effective. I'd say they need to improve on that. But otherwise, as far as passing goes, it's looking real good.
And they did get the fortunate turnover of a fumble, so they began with great scoring position to begin with. And now it is a 2nd and inches from the 8-yard line of San Benito. 5 minutes exactly to go here in the first quarter. Vikings go with split backs. And one receiver to each side. Tight end lines up on the right end of the line. And a handoff to Frick up the middle. He has the first down with ease. Inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. And a 1st and goal coming up here for the Vikings. Enormous hole opened up there between the left guard and center positions on the line. So the Vikings are knocking on the door, looking for that first score of the season. You need to get those first points to feel what it's like to have a touchdown, to be able to celebrate.
Say, with another play like that, Frick might get it.
And Frick lines up in the backfield right behind Chris. But it's
here we
a
go.
pass, rolling right,
It's
throwing
good.
off his back foot. He has Frick. There it is.
I called it.
Touchdown, Palo Alto. Oh, yes. Except you were thinking it would be a run for
yeah.
Frick.
I was thinking
that
they were
was
gonna run it.
a 4-yard touchdown pass from Keller Chris
That was a great
to
play.
Andrew Frick.
Completely confused that defense.
Well, it was a great bootleg by design there.
He was wide open. It's totally
Untouched.
easy. Yeah.
So here is Matt Fogarty with the point after attempt, flying down on the play. The point after is good.
That makes it 7-0.
We'll see what the penalty is.
Oh, we're not.
But that high-powered Viking offense has its first score of the season. Well, regardless of what the penalty is, it was on San Benito, it looks like.
Oh.
And as you can see, the Paly faithful very, very content with how the first quarter has gone so far. Or the point after was on Palo Alto, and the Vikings left the field, and now they're back. Well, you can try and piece together what's going on here as much as me. The penalty was on the Vikings, and now the point after will be a 25-yard attempt. Well, all we could get from referee Kenny Jackson there is it was on the kicking team, which means 5 yards back go the Vikings, and Fogarty, point after attempt, take 2 on its way, is good. 4:33 left in the first quarter. Palo Alto 7, San Benito nothing. And there's a beautiful picture of the sunset to the west. That's actually looking more to the north, towards the Palo Alto High School main campus. This is what we call the Friday Night Lights. And the Paly faithful are out in force here this evening. In the middle of September. It really is amazing here with all the renovations and the new stadium and just the success of the Vikings that they have won the division every season since 2008. Just what a scene this has been.
Oh, yeah.
Over the past few years.
Very impressive team.
Here's a ground ball kickoff by Fogarty. Picked up on a hop and knocked down.
A good tackle by number 3.
18-yard line. Nice tackle there by Paly's Tilly McAllister. On the return man, number 6 for the Hay Balers. He is not listed on our roster for some reason. First and 10 coming up here for San Benito. Their second drive of the evening. And it's an option. Pitch to the outside and plenty of room across the 25 out to the 30-yard line. That is a first down for Chris Blake. We've seen a lot of Chris Blake here in these first few plays for San Benito, and I'm guessing he will be a key feature for the rest of the game on offense. And just none of the outside linebackers. Great outside block there as well. Just none of the Viking defense really able to make a stop. And a handoff up the middle, a couple yards on the gain. to the 34, brings up 2nd and 6 coming up. So it looks like the run game will be the way that San Benito will try and establish themselves here.
Yeah, it looks like that's the case. Here we go. Here's another one.
And there's another option pitch, and there's Blake, and watch out.
He breaks.
Across midfield. He's got one man to beat inside the 30, and finally tracked down at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, totally McAllister gets him, but that is a big gain.
It was either McAllister making the stop or a touchdown.
McAllister, indeed.
For Blake. There is a flying on the play. Oh, my.
Oh, okay.
So it was a turnover on the first drive, and now a costly penalty here on the second drive as San Benito continues to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And those holding penalties, it seems like you just can't have a long run without a holding penalty. So instead of 1st and 10 at about the Paly 15, you have 2nd and 11 from the San Benito 29. The two backs in motion, Stanton to pass. And he's going deep, got a man, batted away by Malcolm Davis. Intended for Rolando Lovano. And Lovano had him there in that close single coverage. But a great play by Davis to break it up. 3rd and 11 coming up. Most of these Paly players are both defense and offense. You just have to think for Davis, how many wind sprints does he have to do tonight, both as a cornerback and a receiver? Out of the shotgun, rolling right, Stanton throws incomplete, wide of his intended target. And that time again looking for Lovano. Davis on the coverage, 4th down coming up for San Benito, so that penalty proved to really be costly.
That penalty and also throwing into coverage, it's not looking. He has time too. Honestly, it looks like. I mean, he's got a good offensive line, and
he decided to throw on the run.
Yeah,
there,
he decided to throw into coverage and not even a good pass. I mean, it's unfortunate for the wide receivers.
There was a very narrow window there, squeezed to the sideline. Almost an impossible pass to make.
All right, here's the kick.
First punt of the night for John Keynes, and it's a good one. All the way inside the Paly 25 and down at the 23-yard line. 3:14 to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Palo Alto has the lead. Great to have you with us on our first live broadcast. First live broadcast of hopefully many here in the 2013 season. There will be an assortment of volleyball and football for the fall season, and I'm sure basketball in the winter. Maybe some soccer here and there, the other form of football. 1st and 10 Paly, the 23-yard line. They hand off up the middle, not much there. So where do you see this Vikings team compared to the ones who have had tremendous success over the years?
So a little bit less energetic, but I mean, it's the first game, so we'll have to see. I think that once again, I think that they're running plays that are effective. I mean, now we'll just have to see if the players can also be effective. So.
Well, we're trying to judge this team here after a little less than
right. Oh, here we go.
One quarter.
He breaks the tackle.
Look out. Oh, gaining speed and almost bursting free in the open field there, Malcolm Davis, and that is trouble if he starts sprinting.
Oh, yeah. It looked like he was going to get tackled. Just pops right back up.
Talk about balance.
Yeah.
A very gifted athlete. Do you know if he runs track and field or not?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of
wouldn't
these
be
guys
surprised
probably do. Or at least on their own, I'm sure.
High formation, 1st and 10. Here's a handoff. This time it's Marcus Brown with his first carry of the night. Near the first down marker at about the 45-yard line. Well, we were just saying on the last drive, Paly needed to establish the running game, and, well, here you go. Back-to-back runs. This is an 8-yard gain for Brown.
I was impressed by Marcus Brown. It was a good run. That kind of stuff will get you touchdowns.
Brown seems to be sort of more the power runner.
Yeah. Although even both running backs are running well.
On the roster, he's listed as the halfback, while Frick is listed as the fullback. Look out, Chris under pressure, wrapped up, and he's sacked. Back at the 35-yard line.
Sacked by number 88.
Jose Perez, junior with the sack. And that's significant loss there, about 7 yards, bringing up a 3rd and 9 here for the Paly offense. And in the Paly program, one of the keys to the game for the Vikings was that young offensive line protecting Keller Christ. Well, there you go. You have sack number 1 tonight. Christ under center at the controls. Here's the blitz under pressure. Throws complete near the first down marker to Johnson. Johnson trying to find his way to the 45-yard line, and I think they will mark him about a yard short. Great job by Jorge Aguayo and Guillermo Regalado to make the catch, and indeed, Keyshawn Johnson is a yard short, bringing up a real dilemma here. 4th and 1. What do you do? Well, they're going to measure it. You can just see Johnson going against Regalado. And Regalado looked like he probably was able to keep Johnson away, but I can't officially tell you here. From my eye, it looks like it's just a couple inches shy of the 44-yard line. Stopping the clock with 18 seconds here in the first quarter. It's been a busy chain gang crew already. So we will see what the verdict is in the waning seconds of this opening quarter, the opening game for the Vikings. It is indeed inches short. What did I tell you? I don't know. I don't even know why they have a chain gang. You just have me here. It almost looks like, looking there at Alma Street, there's a whole bunch of cars just stopped at the stoplight. Almost like the crowd is still coming into Honore Field.
The place is always blocked up anyways.
That's
train passing.
The normal Friday night traffic.
Oh, yeah.
This is the place to be. I don't know where else you would rather be on a Friday night. So the clock should start any moment now. 4th and 1. I don't know if Paly will just let the clock expire and think a little bit more about this 4th and 1. I don't know what you really think about in a 4th and 1 other than just run up the middle, but that does appear to be what Earl Hansen has elected to do.
That is the end
of
the first quarter.
Is the end of the opening quarter here at Vikings Stadium at Honore Field. A defensive matchup so far. The Vikings, the only team to score yet, leading San Benito 7-0. Well, with Eric, I'm Trevor Felch. Glad to join you here on this Friday night. In the middle of September. It's Friday the 13th, in fact. Now, whether that's good or bad for the Palo Alto
It'll
Vikings,
be bad for the other team.
It will be bad for the losing team.
Yes.
The big crowd on hand here. First game for the Vikings since they were defeated by the Serra High School Padres in the first round of the Open Division CCS playoffs last November. 52-35. We have a long ways to go to reach 52 points for either one of these teams. Well, I haven't seen Jim Harbaugh come and join us yet. That would be great if the guest of honor for the evening wanted to discuss 49er football, though I know that he probably would rather discuss anything except that subject. It was very nice of him to come and do the coin toss tonight, knowing that his team will be heading to the Pacific Northwest tomorrow.
Oh, you talking about Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah, big division showdown with the Seattle Seahawks. But he was kind enough to take some time out of his busy schedule and at least attend the pregame. I don't know if he actually even stuck around for the game. So 4th and 1 as we begin the second quarter, and Keller Chris takes matters into his own hands with the quarterback keeper to midfield and the first down for the Vikings.
I caught a glimpse of John on my way up, so he was here definitely for at least a majority of the first quarter.
You mean Jim?
Yeah.
Not John.
Oh, yeah.
That would be...
Oh, yeah,
that would be the Super Bowl champion. That would be the brother. Now, I don't know, actually, if John Harbaugh spent any time at Paly as a student. I know the family moved after Jim's sophomore year. He spent junior and senior year, I think, seasons of 81 and 82, with Earl Hansen, of course, as the coach. Handoff up the middle for a couple yards there for Frick. And the tackle there made by Ben Cobb for the San Benito Hay Baylors. We also can just refer to them apparently as the Baylors, but then I'd be mistaking them with the Baylor Bears, so then I just think they're the Bears. 2nd down and 7 now. Past the opening minute here, the second quarter. Davis wide right, Johnson wide left, and whistles. Timeout called by Palo Alto. That's their first timeout. I am informed that John Harbaugh did not go to Paly, in fact, thanks to our old director and producer, who we miss dearly, Ethan, who I would assume right now is...
So John is just here because he likes the team? I mean, Jim.
Well, John is the...
Who are we talking about?
John Harbaugh, I'm sorry.
John, all right.
Okay. But is John or Jim the older or younger brother?
Oh, John is the older.
John is the older brother, so he may have already been in college. He went somewhere like Allegheny College or some small college. He was never the football player that Jim was, but he does have bragging rights, obviously, since last February. He's the Super Bowl winning coach. I'm sure they love discussing that subject. But it's great. I've been hearing from some of our staff from last year who were seniors at Paly and Gunn. We miss them dearly and wish them the best of luck at their colleges. They're growing up. Makes me feel old. Keller Chris rolling right here on 2nd down, and the pass is complete near side to Malcolm Davis.
Ooh, there's some commotion here. Oh, boy.
Inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line. And that's a first down. And you are a Paly graduate.
Yes.
As well, from what year?
It just won't go down. Wow.
Eric is mesmerized by our in-house monitor here. We're probably the only people here at Honore Field who can watch the game on TV, actually, just like our viewers at home. The give is to Frick on 1st and 10 to the 25-yard line. Chris trying to give his receivers a bit of a breather here. And it will be interesting to see with that young interior offensive line how they can establish the run up the middle. We've seen some good runs outside by the Paly running backs. Now they need to establish that inside game, that grinded out type of running game.
2nd and 9.
Going with a 2 tight end set here. The lone back is Frick. Whistles everywhere as Chris drops back to pass. That'll be false start. Penalties by both teams being a factor. So the false start penalty pushes the Vikings 5 yards further back. As the sun has now fully set here on the West Coast, and we have nighttime football. Almost with the big crowd and the importance of the game and the excitement. I mean, I've never watched one of those Friday night light games in Texas where it is the event of the year, but it kind of feels a little bit like that, or at least the closest we can get to it. Chris going deep for the end zone, got him in, diving to make the catch is Malcolm Davis for the touchdown. 31 yards on the completion from Kellen Chris to Malcolm Davis.
That's big.
And what a catch there by Davis, too, going
and once again,
all-out dive.
Wide open. The defense really needs to improve safety position.
And you can see the excitement on Earl Hansen's face there, as always. The point after attempt on its way. It is good by Matt Fogarty.
Now, I've known a couple of my friends who played with Earl Hansen, and they all agree that he's one of the best coaches, maybe that they've ever known. People they know now. Every time that they bring up Earl Hansen, they say, you know, he's tough, but a great coach. And just watching this game, you can tell because of the play calling, it's just brilliant, brilliant. And that lead makes us now at that puts us now where we are, right? 14-0. Vikings have dominated.
This is that key moment here as we're heading toward the halfway point in the second quarter for San Benito. It's kind of that make or break time. They really haven't established anything offensively.
Oh yeah, they need a big play soon.
And you cannot commit turnovers or humiliating penalties that turn almost touchdowns into losses of essentially 50 yards.
Especially since the Viking defense has looked very effective as well.
So Fogarty to kick off for the Vikings, leading 14-0 with 9:21 to go in the second quarter. Kick taken from the 10-yard line. Look at nowhere to go there for the mysterious number 6. Tony McAllister makes the tackle. Doesn't look like it. Looking at the replay, it seems as if the kicker Fogarty doesn't really give himself much of a headway into kicking the ball. It's like he just goes 3 yards back and then just takes 2 steps and kicks. Almost like it's a punt off a tee. There's an injured Viking. That is Tonga Latu, one of the promising young offensive guards and linebackers being helped off the field there. So he looks a little bit shaken up, being tended to by Paly's head athletic trainer Josh Goldstein. 1st and 10. Baylor's from the 23-yard line. Trips to the left, and no receivers to the right. And a handoff coming near side, trying to cut the corner and pushed out of bounds. Ooh, look out. That was almost a late hit by Malcolm Johnson. Pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Zach Hicks on the carry. Let's see if actually it may have almost been. Well, that was awfully close to being out of bounds. A late hit. No call, though, yeah. And the hit was so close to the sidelines. Then with Hicks' speed and the momentum continuing into the Paly sideline, he actually almost fell onto the track. So far away from the field. A full house backfield. Hicks gets the carry up the middle. And there may be a fumble on the play. A little bit of commotion. Paly's saying they have it. And they do.
Oh boy.
You've got to be kidding me.
Again?
What has just been a have to forget now is a whole nother chapter to it for San Benito. So they have a punt, 2 fumbles, Hey, this is
And
embarrassing.
One thing's for sure is this offense looks ready to have some fun right now. I mean, they look pumped.
They want the big lead.
Oh, yeah.
Split backs behind Chris. Whistles everywhere.
Oh.
Well, it hasn't been a flawless half either for the Paly offense. The jitters of the opening game. Chris heading to the sideline for a
Dead
little.
ball encroachment on the defense.
Oh. So the penalty's on San Benito.
Oh, wow. No, I thought that was a false start on the Vikings.
By the body language of Keller Christie, it seemed like he was a little bit disappointed as well, but he is pleased by the encroachment penalty. Now Chris back to the huddle after meeting with Earl Hansen and quarterback coach, sort of offensive coach, venture capitalist Steve Bono. Bono, of course, the former backup quarterback in the NFL for the 49ers, for the Kansas City Chiefs, and now spending some time as one of the coaches for the Vikings for the past few years, in fact. His son was a quarterback for the Vikings. Here's his screenplay near his side, except no screen. Marcus Brown had blockers ahead, but some of the linebackers were able to reach him nonetheless. Gain of about 2 on the play to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 3. 8:30 to go here in the second quarter. Glad you could join us here on the Palo Alto Media Center. This is the game of the week. None of the other games matter compared to this one. 2 receivers wide left, 1 to the right. Play action, quick drop, and a nice slot pass complete. And a first down to the 22-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson. Johnson must have at least half a dozen receptions tonight.
Yeah, he's establishing dominance. His team's dominance.
Yeah, the Vikings are not going for the home run ball. Maybe they don't need to. They certainly have the quarterback who can throw the home run ball, and they have the receivers who can play the vertical passing game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once again, I feel like this is very good play calling. I mean,
they're trying to wear down the defense.
It's worthy to play conservative for sure at this point.
Play action, Christ.
Or maybe not.
Fakes now rolling left, looking for some help. He'll take it himself, and he has room inside the 10, and he dives along the sideline inside the 5. That is the mobile component of Keller Christ.
He's a big guy too.
He is
just running right through everybody.
Look out! That's a big fellow. All 6'4", 230 of them.
If I'm not mistaken, he looks like the tallest player
I was gonna
out there.
Say, he's bigger than the defensive lineman out there. Oh, you just look at him there in the huddle. I think he is the biggest player.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Anderson is 6'5". He is the only other player who would be 6'4" or taller on the Paly roster, in fact.
So we got a tackle here.
There's Frick on the carry. Gain of a yard. 2nd and goal coming up, knocking on the door of the end zone at the 2-yard line. Looks like the entire Paly side of the field is, or the seating is at capacity. It is full. There's a lot of standing room as well. Split backs in an eye, and handoff up the middle. Frick already has 1 touchdown receiving, and now he has 1 rushing. Touchdown Vikings. And Paly opening up a big lead here in the second quarter. So the Viking offense taking advantage of the San Benito mistakes, and they have 2 touchdowns off the 2 fumbles committed by the Hay Balers. Point after is up and good by Fogarty. And with 6:35 to go in the second quarter, the Vikings lead the Hay Balers 21-0. The band is getting a workout here tonight. 2-yard touchdown run for Andrew Frick. And tonight, Eric, it just shows how important it is to hold on to the football.
Yeah, and the Vikings are doing that. And especially that last drive, it goes to show that small plays, win the game. Small plays that work, because they didn't have any really big plays, aside maybe from Christie running, and they still scored. So, and burned a ton of time off the clock as well.
It's far too early in this game to even think about, well, would they ever give Keller Christ a little bit of rest, knowing that there is an enormous game coming up a week from tomorrow on Saturday the 21st against Archbishop Mitty, but San Benito just hasn't shown much of anything right now. They're trying to get it going.
All right.
Number 6 on the return to the 29-yard line, tackled by Sean Pike. I believe I heard the public address announcer say his last name is Rodriguez. So that is how we will refer to him. That is indeed what the back of his jersey at least says. So here comes the San Benito offense. David Stanton, senior quarterback, under center, going with the full house backfield, a trio of backs there. And with all the different running backs coming towards the handoff, going for blocking, you never can even tell who has the actual football. Looked like Zach Hicks there for a gain of a yard or two. As we hit the 6-minute mark now to go in the second quarter. Vikings leading 21-0. Again with the 3 backs. And a handoff up the middle. That's Cody McGrew with the carry. I'm sorry, take that back. It's Brian Noble with the carry. And just like that, it is third down. 3rd and 4 from the 36-yard line. Yeah, you were talking about the enthusiasm of this Paly team. Now, maybe it might not quite be the same like in the past few championship seasons, as here's a pitch far side, trying to turn the corner at Chris Blake. And Blake has the first down for the Hay Baylors across the 40-yard line. But just watching the San Benito team, enthusiasm, I don't sense it right now.
Yeah,
but it's hard to have that after a half
there,
like this. What could have gone wrong has gone wrong for the Hay Baylors. There's a pitch near side. Thought about going upfield, now going towards the sideline. Hit hard there by Keyshawn Johnson, run out of bounds. Hicks on the carry. Look how Hicks just keeps trying to go upfield, and then, yeah, that's not going to work. Johnson gets off the block of Blake, wraps him up, taking him out of bounds. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 now from the 46-yard line. 3 receiver set, going with no tight ends. And nowhere to go up the middle. Once again, that's Hicks. Well, it's been great hearing from Ethan, our former director. He's probably enjoying the beautiful Evanston, Illinois environs, freshman at Northwestern. Also, we've been hearing from my former colleague and analyst, the legendary Viking golfer Grant Raffle. Pass complete on the far side, and then hit hard. Pass complete to Regalado, and then what a shot afterwards by Malcolm Davis in space. And no third down conversion that time. 4th down brings out the punting team. I should mention to Grant Raffle, who's now a freshman out in the Berkshire Mountains at Williams College, there's a young kid right below me here, clearly a Paly fan, who also is wearing an Amherst College sweater, the rival of Grant's school. He probably doesn't like that. Second punt of the night for the Hay Baylors. Fair catch called for, made by Keyshawn Johnson at his own 15-yard line. So the Vikings, with 4:08 to go before halftime, will look to add to their 21-0 lead. It has been all green and white so far this evening. And I would expect probably the Vikings just to sort of run the ball, send this game to halftime, relax. There isn't much of a sense of urgency, I might say. I formation, handoff up the middle for a couple yards. Well, coming up at halftime, I believe there will be a nice performance by the Paly Spirit team, and the marching band probably will also make an appearance. Second and 9 from the 16-yard line coming up. Eric is in deep thought about this game so far. Considering the X's and O's. Pass complete on the far side.
Well, they're still throwing it.
Well, they do need to convert that first down here to keep the clock rolling here. Targeting always Keyshawn Johnson or Malcolm Davis, who will be Keyshawn or Keller Christ's best friends this season. After the gain of 7, 3rd down and 2 coming up as Chris heads to the huddle. And here's an interesting decision. You're sort of deep in your own territory, at your own 23-yard line. You need 2 yards to get the first down. But at the same time, you want the clock to just continue to roll. You're going to try to run here. Let's see. No, it's going to be a quick pass. And Johnson is open, and they've got the first down and more out to the 31-yard line.
Where is the coverage?
A little bit too loose, yeah. And Aguayo was there. Now Johnson, after being tackled there, is slow to get up. Looks like somewhere in his left leg. Maybe a cramp? I don't want to speculate, but obviously that would be a huge blow to the Vikings if they lose Johnson for much time. Well, walking off the field under his own power, but with a noticeable limp. To me, it looks like a cramp. Just that type of soreness in your leg. And you can see the training staff trying to get fluids rapidly into him. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Handoff is to the up back, Frick. Frick with the stiff arm. Picks up a yard or two. His stiff arm right to the helmet of Cody Fritas, who ended up bringing him down. Ball at the 33-yard line, now 2nd and 8. Do you know if the Paly Viking mascot has a name? Or it's just the Paly Viking? Just the Viking.
The Viking, yeah.
He's making his rounds around the stadium right now. The Viking is very happy with his fellow Vikings on the field. Whistles everywhere. Clock stops at 1:53 to go in the first half. 21-0 Palo Alto. And I'm sure Earl Hansen not too happy with the number of flags on his team. There haven't been as many costly penalties against the Vikings as there were in this half against San Benito, but nonetheless, they are still penalties. As the clock now continues to roll towards halftime. Next week, Vikings will be on the road, actually playing at a sort of neutral location at Foothill College in Los Altos, playing Archbishop Mitty, private high school in San Jose.
Foothill College is a really nice stadium as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I mean, the entire campus itself is beautiful. It's on the hills, Los Altos Hills.
Chris, boy, he's just bumbling, stumbling, spinning out of trouble, throws and complete. Here's McAllister. McAllister breaks free down the sideline, and there goes Tully McAllister in one of the most improbable plays you might ever see. It is a touchdown, but there's a flag down.
So much for playing conservative.
You've got to be kidding me.
Wow.
Boy, how many times did Keller Christ have to spin his way out of trouble?
That's huge.
And then he completed a pass, and not only that, it would have been a touchdown, but it's coming back. That seems to be a frequent theme
We have 2 fouls on the
tonight.
play. We had illegal procedure on the offense. We also had a block in the back offense.
So really, the play never even existed. But it was pretty fun to watch,
Yeah, it was fun to
nonetheless.
watch. The entertainment value was there.
And that's what I go for. Back in the day, I was a theater actor. It's about selling it. Even though it wasn't even a play, just make them laugh.
Yeah, it made the crowd loud.
So instead of a touchdown, it is 2nd and 13, 1:07 to go before halftime. Who needs halftime entertainment when you can have plays like that? Keller Christ is fleet of foot as a ballroom dancer. He might be a ballroom dancer for all I know. 2nd and 23. 3 receivers set for the Vikings, and they'll probably just decide to run out the clock here and give it to Frick up the middle. Picks up a couple of yards. We'll see if Todd Thatcher, the second-year head coach of San Benito, decides to try to stop the clock and give his team a chance to have any sort of scoring opportunity offensively in this first half. It does not look like he will. 3rd and about 14 yards coming up from the 27-yard line. Well, this will be a half to forget for San Benito, and frankly, it has been a lot more lopsided than the scoreboard says. Yes, it's pretty lopsided on the scoreboard when it's just 21-0, but San Benito just hasn't had anything going for them. Here's a handoff. Good head of steam there for Marcus Brown. And stopped at the 32-yard line. That stops the clock. So actually, San Benito will take the timeout. With 2 seconds left, they'd like a chance for a punt return here. So what would you do, Eric, if you're San Benito here? I mean,
What would I do?
I mean, besides not commit penalties and hold on.
Yeah,
to
I mean, holding on to the ball first of all. I mean, they need to work on just ball handling, because I mean, you can't fumble twice against Paly.
But you also feel like the defense has really kind of hung in there. They've had to deal with short fields.
Right.
The offense hasn't done them any favors. But you also feel like the Paly offense just hasn't really turned it on yet. They're like, well, we don't.
Maybe not.
You know, we don't
Maybe
really need to give everything yet. And let us know when we need to, and we will.
Well,
that's the vibe
I understand what you're saying. It'd be interesting to see the Vikings offense when the score is close, when they're really under pressure, or when they're losing, to see what they do. I mean, this is almost looking easy.
In many ways, it is. Now there's another timeout. This
Timeout.
time by
San Benito.
Didn't San Benito just call a timeout? I didn't know
It seems to be a miscommunication.
I didn't know they were allowed to call. It must have been a Paly timeout initially. This is now San Benito. Except why would Paly want to stop the clock for a punt? Anyhow, that's why I'm up here with the headset on and I'm not down there making the decisions. Well, it's definitely a crisp night. Feels like autumn. I think summer officially begins next Saturday. Summer. No, I'm sorry. I just got back from Australia, so I'm wondering about that. No, it's fall officially begins.
Oh yeah, but we had a hot day here though, for sure.
It was nice during the day. Yes. That's one thing people always ask me. Oh, do you want to live on the East Coast? Do you want to move out there? Well, it is always nice on the East Coast how the humidity keeps it warm at night. So here I am. I feel like I could wear a scarf and gloves and an overcoat right now.
At the same time, though, the humidity during the day.
Oh, during the day. Forget about it.
If you don't have the air conditioning on, you suffer.
Oh, I was.
And then the Four Seasons.
You know, actually, I was in New York last week, and it was gorgeous. But it was like it's that 2-week period where the weather is gorgeous. It's not cold enough to be fall, and it's not that hot, sultry summer, which in New York City, when you get the urban jungle, the noise and the sweat, it was beautiful though. So Paly will go for it here, trying to run out the clock, play action. Chris steps
with a big
up.
throw.
He's going deep downfield. He wants it all.
No. Incomplete pass.
Looking for Keyshawn Johnson, and that wraps up the first half with the Paly Vikings heading to the locker room, leading 21-0. The first 30 minutes of play, all Palo Alto, and the San Benito Hollister Hay Balers have a lot of adaptations to make in the locker room, as this was not their first half. And I'm Trevor Felch here with Eric, and for our viewing audience here, Paly looking pretty sharp so far in the first few the first few series so far this season. Paly looking pretty sharp, I'd say.
Oh yeah, I mean, looking very effective. Both the run game and the passing game have been on point so far. I would say defensively, they're shutting out the Hay Balers so far. Also getting fumbles recovered, which is very effective in this game.
They're winning the turnover battle, and when you have 2 touchdowns off turnovers, both are scoring drives of 35 yards or less, and that's kind of making the going a little bit easy for Paly, though. So we'll see if the Vikings are able to have so much luck with the turnovers and such in the second half or not. But the first half of the first game of this 2013 season is in the books, and the Vikings looking sharp at 21-0. Right now, the San Benito Spare team is dancing out there on the Paly logo, and then the Paly Spare team will be performing as well. So we will step aside and let you enjoy the halftime festivities. We'll join you in about 10 to 12 minutes from now. So enjoy the dancing and the singing, the music, and we will see you in just a few minutes. It's halftime here at Honore Field and Viking Stadium. Paly 21 and San Benito nothing. And here they come. Back onto the field, leading 21-0, the Vikings of Palo Alto High School. And they keep running. They don't stop until the end zone. It's not like that in the NFL.
I wonder if they're just warming up or something.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit chilly out here. We do need to stay warm, stay active. And if you were thinking, wait, that sounds like a different voice than the man who was just with me, I am joined by a new analyst. We seem to be having a rotating cast, either that or they just can't stand standing next to me. But we're joined here by 8th grader at Ralston Middle School, Johnny Pappas, here for the second half. Johnny, welcome aboard. Glad you could be here.
Trevor.
Is this your first ever broadcast?
No, it is not.
Oh,
I
so
was at the camp, the media center camp, and I got to announce a couple of games, including a basketball game. This is my first football game, though.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is old hat for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you done Super Bowls as well? But Johnny, I don't know if you saw much of the first half.
Well, I was in the truck, so I saw almost
so
all
you
of
did.
it.
You did see. I was going to say you didn't miss much anyways, Palo Alto leading 21-0, looking awfully sharp so far.
Yes, Keller, just a lot bigger than everyone else. Like nothing you can do about that. He's just big and fast and strong, and
he's also had the benefit of 2 turnovers.
That is also
committed by San Benito, and both of those have resulted in short field. When you're starting at your own 20-yard line, your own 30-yard line, guess what happens?
You get to score.
Absolutely. Well, what does I was talking with Eric before the break. San Benito really, I can't think of much positive. Chris Blake maybe's had 2 good rushes.
Maybe.
What can they possibly do? And frankly, they should be happy that they're only down by 21 to
Yes.
nothing. It could be double that.
Yes, it could. I think they need good kick returns and good blocking. I mean, their blocking hasn't been great against the defensive line of Paly. That's
Absolutely.
what caused
They're
the
a
turnovers.
rush first team, and
Yes.
you can't rush if you don't have the holes made by the blockers.
Yes. So they need good blocking, and maybe they can figure out some way to stop Keller. I'm not sure if anyone has one.
I don't know. Ask Archbishop Mitty next week.
Yeah.
Though. That's
Yep.
if somebody can, that would be who
Yes.
could probably do that.
Just with physical defense, I guess.
And that's we were talking about in the first half. So kind of the one little bit of concern Paly has is the young offensive line. And the way to get to Keller Christ is put pressure on him. And they did get the San Benito defense did get 1 sack. 1.
They do really need to put more pressure on Keller if they want to at least shorten the lead, cut the deficit.
Well, a great way to do that would be to have an impressive opening drive as San Benito waits for the kick from Fogarty, fumbling the ball there at the 15, heading to the middle, and nowhere to go for Rodriguez, the return man, wrapped up at the 21-yard line. That is where the San Benito hay balers will begin at their own 21-yard line.
Looks
Down
like
21-0.
Looks like the Paly kickoff special teams just filled every gap. He can only run as far as his team will block, so really shut him down.
Going with just twin backs in the backfield instead of the customary 3 that San Benito has been employing for much of the game. Up the middle, a couple yards there for Brian Noble. Noble, a junior, also plays outside linebacker for San Benito.
Very diverse player.
Now, a lot of these players have to go on offense and defense, even if they don't necessarily want to. Quarterback keeper there for Stanton, and Stanton finds some room off the right tackle and turns upfield to the 36-yard line. First down for San Benito. Of course, I think I was counting earlier, but some of the numbers don't make sense for San Benito, but they're somewhere in the ballpark of 30 players.
I don't know but how much Paly has, but it definitely looks like San Benito has a lot fresher legs.
Yeah, the Paly team, there's a run out of bounds for about 1 yard, 2nd and 9 coming up. The Paly team looks a lot smaller, both size-wise and also just in terms of the number of players, than they have in the past.
Yeah, I mean, Keller being one of the tallest players on the team, one of the biggest players, and he's the quarterback, so it's like...
He's also unusually
Yes,
big
that
for
is
a
very
quarterback.
true.
Stanton dropping back deep, throwing over the middle, incomplete. It's intended receiver Cody Freitas had a beat on that, a couple steps ahead of Tony McAllister's cover man, but overthrown by Stanton. 3rd and 9 coming up from the 38-yard line. I remember last year, I was talking with Keller Chris just after one of the practices, preparing for a game, and I dwarfed him. He is a foot taller than I am.
I had a camp this summer, and he was one of the coaches.
Oh.
And just standing next to him makes you
Pretty
feel a lot
awe-inspiring.
smaller than you think you are.
Stanton on the quarterback keeper, a few yards short of the first down, so here comes the punting team once again. John Keynes to kick it away, and back to receive is Keyshawn Johnson. Yeah, well, Keller has a lot more height than me. I actually am a much more accurate. I have a stronger arm than he does. My excellent quarterbacking skills. The punt. Johnson just lets it roll inside the 15-yard line, out of bounds around the 14-yard line. Now, my brother actually was a quarterback at Gunn High School.
The rivalry.
But he is also about Keller's height, which is interesting enough compared to me. But yes, the rivalry. And I happen to be broadcasting the Paly game, but I'm not going to say who I'm rooting for. I am completely bipartisan here. They pay me the big bucks just to broadcast the game, not to root for a team. 10 minutes, 12 seconds and counting to go here in the third quarter. First drive of the second half here for Paly. They hand off to Jayshon Puckett. Called his name a few times in the first half. There are a lot of what we would call playmakers, just offensive players on this Viking team who are fast. They have great hands. They can make what really should just be a 5-yard play into a 15-yard play. And I don't know much about Puckett, but he looks like he should be. He's only a junior, 5'9", 160. Probably didn't get a lot of playing time last year with Tolbert at running back, and that didn't work. Went for the dump-off pass, incomplete. Frick, the intended receiver.
Like you were saying, they make 5-yard plays into 15-yard plays. They just really don't want to go down. They're very determined.
And that really is strength, or at least partly strength. Just being hard to bring down, keeping those feet moving. That's what you always hear for running backs. Just keep grinding, get that head of steam, that momentum. Inertia. Quick drop. Chris slings it left side. Complete. First down and more. Out across the 25 of the 31-yard line. Keyshawn Johnson.
He has very good hands. I've seen him in practice.
I don't know if he's dropped a ball tonight. Really, none of the receivers have dropped passes from Chris since there were a couple there in the first quarter, which probably just trying to get used to the swing of things again might be part of the cause. But now, they're just tearing up the field. I formation. Might be that glue they have on their gloves. I doubt that. Here's an end around, and Malcolm Davis with the carry. Coming to the near side, no room there. Brought down at the 28-yard line by number 12.
They really closed all the gaps on that one, Trevor.
And you can tell who the guy who made the tackle there, number 12, he's one of the safeties. So you had all the linebackers closing the gaps. You had the safety even coming up making a play. Now I formation, 2nd and 12 from the 29. Play action. Chris back to pass. Thought about left. Pump fakes over the middle. Now rolls out of the pocket to his right. Throws on the run and has a man, and it's dropped right into the hands and out of the hands of Eli Givens, the sophomore. First time he's been thrown to tonight.
I'm surprised he dropped it.
Well, he had it. Perfect throw there from Chris. May have been that he also was sort of continuing to run downfield and wasn't really able to stop and focus on making the catch. Well, we were just talking about how the Paly receivers haven't been missing many catches recently. I rest my case. Now 2 receivers to the right. 3rd and 11. Rolling right. Chris stops right on the line of scrimmage. Throws a dart right into the hands of Freitas, the cover man. Givens the intended receiver, but it never even got within 5 yards of him after Freitas broke it up.
Looks like there's a flag on the play.
I saw a flag out of the corner of my eye, but nobody seemed to be doing anything about it. And now they will discuss this. Oh, okay. So you may have noticed there on the play-by-play, I said, and Chris stomps at the line of scrimmage. That's because I was a little bit suspicious with how far forwards he had gone. But He must have clearly known. But no, I guess the referee saw what I kind of was thinking. He went a step or two too far. Either way, it's 4th down, not a real big deal. The punt from the Vikings. Across midfield, it will stop right around the 48-yard line of San Benito with 7:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Looking ahead for Paly, they have full week off before next Saturday. They play at Foothill College versus Archbishop Mitty. Then they have a short week, just 6 days, until a long road trip to Salinas, playing at Palma High School at Rabobank Stadium. I didn't know there is such a thing as Rabobank.
Neither did I.
Maybe there is in the Central Valley.
It's like a flag coming from all directions.
A few more penalties. Probably a false start, I might guess. No. So a 5-yard penalty against the hay balers. Do you even know what a hay baler is? I mean, I know what a bale of hay, but
yes.
I would assume a hay baler
is
someone who deals with bales of hay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure on that.
1st and 10 from the 46 of Paly. Stanton on the keeper inside the 40, and sort of his forward momentum keeps him moving and moving as he loses his footing down to the 36-yard line, and that will move the chains. 1st down San Benito as they're trying to find the scoreboard here for the first time tonight.
Looks like Palo Alto defense is looking a little winded. A lot of the same players out there over and over.
A little bit sore. First game of the year. Stanton play action going deep. Has a man lunging for the ball. Incomplete. Zach Hicks, the intended receiver. Good coverage there by Zversky Oliver along with Tully McAllister.
Hit off his hand, and it looks like it was just out of his reach.
Just slightly overthrown by Stanton. Just one step ahead. Either that or it was a perfect throw, and Hicks was one step behind. Depends on your point of view. Handoff up the middle, and a couple yards there. Some nice space for McCary. Big number 79, Colote Mataele makes the tackle. And they carry there for Brian Noble. 3rd and 5 now.
Looks like a blitz.
Noble the deep back, and it's a keeper on the blitz. Stanton weaves his way up the middle to another 1st down. So the rushing game up the middle is working right now for San Benito, even with the additional pressure coming from the Vikings. First and 10. Now at the 23-yard line of Paly. Vikings lead 21-0, 6:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. Stanton nowhere this time on the keeper. He is gang tackled by a duo of big Viking linemen.
Another blitz.
Yep.
Playing very aggressive defense.
Absolutely. Mike Grandy and Justin Rittman both making the tackle. Those are 2 guys I don't want tackling me. 2nd and 10. And now you have the 3 horizontally lined up running backs
I'm not
behind
sure what
Stanton.
that's called.
I don't know. I just keep calling it a full house. So there's this interesting thing here. It's 3rd down coming up in the Paly program where they were explaining the common offense. I think they call it kind of a heavy offense, but they run this play called the QB follow, where the quarterback fakes a handoff to the fullback. Fullback pretends to run up the middle. That gets the defense's attention, and then Stanton, the quarterback, will keep the ball, and then he'll run behind the fullback. Now Stanton back to pass, throws over the middle, incomplete. Looking for the end zone, broken up by Malcolm Davis.
Great coverage on that play. Looks like the receiver had him by a step. If the throw was just a little bit more in front of the receiver's stride, he might have got a touchdown, but Malcolm had his hand in that and just knocked it out.
Davis was just in that perfect positioning to break up the pass. And they're going for it here. 4th and 8 at the 21-yard line. And Stanton now going through an audible at the line of scrimmage. Interesting, no timeout either in this crucial play. Look out, no time for Stanton under pressure going backwards. And he'll just he'll do an intentional grounding penalty, but it doesn't make a difference anyway since it was 4th down.
Looks like a Paly player's down.
Yep. I believe that is Mataele. Kaloti Mataele. And the penalty there is intentional grounding, as we expected, but since it already was 4th down, the loss of down makes it now 5th down, or 1st down Paly. The training staff tending to the injured Viking. It's like working on the one of the legs there.
The right knee, I believe.
I guess I don't remember, and maybe if we have a replay to see, there was one Viking defensive lineman who surged forwards immediately and almost tackled Stanton before he could even think of making a play, but then the lineman fell just short. I don't know if that was Matele or not.
I think it was one of the linebackers on a blitz.
Now being helped off the field, clearly in pain. We certainly hope for the best. Not able to put any pressure on that right leg right now. Tough loss for the Paly defense there.
He always gets good push against the offensive line. Wonder who's going to go in for him.
Well, we will see. Right now, the defense gets a rest. It's Keller Christ in the offense to take over with a 1st and 10 at the 37. Now Mata LA being helped immediately over to the training table. And the team doctor there about to address that right knee. It definitely looks like he's in pain there. 5:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-0 Paly. Back to action now. I formation lines up behind Chris. 2 receivers to the left. And a handoff up the middle. Gain of 3 out to the 40-yard line. On the carry for Jay-Sean Puckett.
Good patience on that run. He slowed himself down right before he got to the line of scrimmage, waited for a hole to open up, and just exploded through it.
He was trying to read the blocks. Very methodical, thoughtful runner. Yeah, so often as a running back, you know sort of the holes you're supposed to be looking for. Here's Frick on the pitch. Nowhere to go. Met immediately there by number 12 there of San Benito. But you do have to think also when you're a running back, because yes, this is where you're supposed to go, but what if there's nowhere to go there? You got to quickly try to improvise.
Gotta wait for a hole to open up. If nothing's opening up, just gotta pound it in like Frick just did. See if he can break a tackle.
Brings up 3rd and 8 now. Chris with a 5-step drop, throws right, got a man wide open. That is completed midfield. Breaks a tackle inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Malcolm Davis with the catch, connecting with Chris for the 1st down conversion.
Looked like an NFL play there. Just a quick out. Davis, sure hands.
Well, it just almost, I think they're playing a zone defense there right now. It just looked like somebody wasn't really hanging out in that area. Or if it was man-to-man, then somebody really wasn't guarding their guy. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Chris under center. As you might know, as I say, Chris under center, never Chris down to the shotgun. It's a handoff for a couple of yards there for Frick. Earl Hansen, not once, has ever employed the shotgun formation. He does not believe in the shotgun.
I agree with him. There's not really use because in high school it's mostly running, and if you're going to run, it's harder to run out of the shotgun than it is off the center. So.
And here's a handoff,
Wide
breaking
open
free,
hole.
look out. One tackle broken, down the sideline, 10-5, touchdown, Marcus Brown.
Wide open hole.
And there was that closing speed as Marcus Brown turned the corner, and 36 yards later, he's in the end zone for the Viking touchdown. And that breaks this game open a little bit, a 4-score lead for Paly.
It's going to take a lot for the Baylors to get back into this game.
Point after attempt here for Fogarty. Chris with the hold, and it is good. 2:51 to go here at Honore Field in the third quarter, and it is all Vikings. Now the excitement is, will they keep the shutout going, leading 28-0? And you saw that closing speed there, Jeremy, for Marcus Brown. He's far from the fastest running back even on this Paly team.
Yes, and he was gone.
So the Vikings looking like it's a pretty celebratory night so far. And the question is, can you even get Earl Hansen to smile? No, I am sure not. But of course, the Vikings had no choice but to pull away in this game, with the festive atmosphere being the big opening night of the season, opening night for the official end of the renovation of Honore Field. And the kickoff by Fogarty. Well, I don't know why you would even try to do that there. And Hicks decided he felt compelled to try and get the ball, but you can just let the ball go, right?
I think it's a
And
live
it's down.
ball.
Oh, it is. So it is a live ball. It's not like with a punt.
Because.
Okay, in that case, that's a smart play.
Yeah, that's what an onside kick would be.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there. I was just worried that he would dart after the ball, and at such a high speed, the chances of being able to cleanly field the ball are so low. It would just be another turnover.
I think
to
the Baylors
hurt
are
them.
going no huddle.
Yeah, well, they're finding time and fighting the score. Handoff coming near side for Brian Noble. But then if they're really thinking that time is of the essence and they just keep handing the ball off, then it's a bit contradictory.
Yes. You'd think they need to pass the ball and try to get it out of bounds. Run a little 2-minute drill here in the third quarter.
Yep. It's awfully early to be doing a 2-minute drill, but it's never too late or never too early. Nowhere to go there for Stanton on the quarterback keeper, but it looks like he just got enough on the first down. Boy,
Stood up.
But frick, said hello. And he still got the first down on that
Yeah.
play. That shows you how much he needed. 2 inches. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Again, just not a lot of space to run there for Eric Hicks.
They keep getting 2, 3, 4 yards on every run, which isn't terrible. I mean, if you keep doing that, you'll drive all the way down the field, but at one point the Paly defense is going to stop you.
So after the gain of 4, And a tackle by Cohey and Jack Anderson. It is 2nd and 6. Handoff to the up back. Up the middle and running right into Justin Rittman. There is Brian Noble. A minute 10 to go here in the third quarter. 28-0 Vikings.
Another gap. Just a game of gaps and just closed all of them. Surprised he got any yardage on that.
And it's also a gain of blocking. And there just hasn't been a lot of it. Or there either. Tripped up by the hard-to-miss big defensive tackle Mike Grandy. Grandy was just on the ground and sort of acted as the obstacle in the obstacle course.
4th down, not a real surprise that they're going to go for it, but I'm wondering if they're going to run it and try to get those 2 yards, if they're going to do a little swing pass and try to get it outside.
Yeah. By the way, an update over there at the training table on Kaloti Montaele. They do have his right knee iced and in a raised position right now. Trying to calm the injury there, but he definitely is in pain right now. Just now taking off his helmet. So the carry for the first down, and we will head to the fourth quarter with San Benito continuing their drive and a first down, but they have a lot ahead of them, trailing 28-0 after the first 3 quarters of play here at Hodray Field. Well, we certainly want to say a big thanks to our wonderful crew, all scattered about here at Hodray Field. The wonderful men and women there in the truck parked right behind us.
Yep.
Led by Captain Chuck Alley. And our cameramen up here as well doing a wonderful job. I wish they could turn the cameras and show themselves.
Kunal and CJ.
Absolutely, they are providing you with some wonderful images today. And in fact, Jeremy, you were in the truck in
Yes,
the first
I was.
half. So which do you prefer, seeing the game up here or seeing the game on all sorts of different monitors?
I'm not real sure.
It's pretty intense in there.
It's pretty close.
And up here, we just enjoy our little light. And you get to watch the game on a TV and live as well. It's the best of both worlds. They take very good care of you up here.
Yes, they do.
Well, 5-yard carry for Eric Hicks to begin the fourth quarter. One of the perks of being a non-televised broadcast, televised but no commercial breaks, are that before you know it, the quarter begins.
Yeah.
The third quarter just ended. There's the deep ball, and doesn't flank down on the play. It doesn't even look like
Looks
the
like
intended receiver, Cody Freitas, had any idea that the ball was coming his way.
A late hit on Paly defense. He hit him well after he threw the ball.
That's not exactly what Earl Hansen wants to see. A little bit of lack of discipline. Yeah, but speaking of the amenities up here, they renovate the entire press box and they still can't have us, the press, be in the press box. I don't get it. So we freeze out here.
It's like roughing the passer is the call on the field.
So that gives new life here to San Benito's offense. Now in Paly territory at the 42-yard line. There's a pitch outside to Hicks, running along the sideline to wrestle down like a steer out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Keyshawn Johnson, another big hit.
Now, not only can I not believe that we're not in the press box, but they actually have space that we could be there as well. But I don't know if Paly was asking for a fee or something. After the gain of 4, 2nd and 6 at 38-yard line of the Vikings. Offset I formation to the left. Now here's that counter motion in the backfield. Handoff to Noble for a handful of yards.
It's going to keep
He's got
working.
the first down.
It's going to keep working. Why run anything else?
Well, it just takes time off the clock is the only thing. But well, San Benito also, I mean, I don't think they've completed more than like 4 passes in this game. So you got to figure out what's the way that you're going to be moving forwards regardless of time. And that's the way right now. Stanton on the keeper, wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice immediate tackle there by Jack Anderson. James Cohey also there. Yeah, this defense will definitely get quite the workout next week, I imagine.
Yes, Mitty and Paly. Not really a big rivalry.
But it's a competitive rivalry.
It is.
Yeah, geographic, no, not really. And one team doesn't really know the players on the other. Here's Hicks coming to the near side. Inside the 20, down at the 17-yard line, and another first down for San Benito as
Got a
they
good
try to
drive.
make their, trying to find their way onto the scoreboard, and they're looking pretty promising right now. 14-yard gain on the carry. 1st and 10 at the Viking 18-yard line. Stanton under center. Motion right to left by Hicks. And a fake looks like almost a direct snap. And the inside handoff to Noble. Picks up a couple yards. Yeah, last year's game between Paly and Mitty came down to the last few moments. Mitty ended up winning. But it was a thriller.
The replay, you could see there's not really a big hole, but his momentum just kept him going forward and has basically got a body length on that one.
Not a lot of room to work with there on the carry for Noble. Now motion right to left. And a fake pitch going for the end zone. Overthrowing Cody Freitas.
Looks like there's a collision in the end zone on the pass, but it was not intentional. So not pass interference, but it did slow the receiver down enough to have the ball be over his head.
So now 3rd and 9 from the 17. So do you pass or run here, Jeremy? You just saw the pass, and that's kind of been a recurring theme for passing.
3rd and 9, I think I'd run. Try to get as many yards as you can because they're definitely going to go for it on 4th down.
And they're running for it and keeping it with the quarterback, too. Gain of 4 on the keeper for Stanton. Must be a frustrating night for David Stanton. The passing game just hasn't gone anywhere. The rushing really has been stop and go.
In the replay, you can see great read by Stanton, but just got caught from behind by Frick.
You've got to be so good at reading the defense if you run an option offense. Hit from behind. The pass is intercepted in the end zone. And I don't know why.
He ran out.
He's running out of the end zone. Now there's a flag down on the play after the tackle, and the pass intercepted by Connor Shield. First time we've called his name tonight, senior captain. And then Zach Hicks tracked him down by the ankles.
He's just another playmaker on Paly.
Yep. Primarily on defense, he also can be a running back. So on the very short interception returned there by Shield, the penalty was called, so Paly already had pretty poor field position. Now they really have bad field position to start this drive at their own 4-yard line.
See if Keller can start a drive here. Just waste time on the clock.
Yeah.
Stay in bounds.
A nice 96-yard drive. That's a way to take a lot of time off the clock if you do it correctly.
If anyone can do it, I'm sure Keller can.
Yep, and it's a pitch off the right side, and some room to run there for Marcus Brown. And tracked down right around the first down marker. Have you ever played football, Jeremy? Or-
I did 1 year, and I played offensive line,
Oh
surprisingly.
my, wow. So tackle football.
Yes, tackle
Okay.
football. And
Like, I guess in flag football you can still have an offensive line.
Yeah,
I played flag football at JLS Middle School. We played your middle school back in the day,
Yeah.
actually, Ralston. That's the only reason I've even heard of Ralston. It's in Belmont.
yes, we play all the Palo Alto teams. But-
The Jordan Jaguars, the
Yep.
Turman Tigers, and the JLS Panthers.
And our flag football team has not been around for a while, I think.
So there's now tackle football in
No,
middle school?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. I played for the Bayside Broncos,
Oh, okay.
which is just the local league. It was fun. It was fun. But then I made a soccer team I've been trying to get on for a while. So
See,
couldn't go both.
yeah, I was referring to American football,
Yeah.
but you play both style
Yes.
footballs. The beautiful game. American football, not such a beautiful game. Chris pass incomplete, looking for Justin Hull. 2nd and 10 coming up from the 15-yard line of the Vikings. 6:42 to go in the fourth quarter, and it's all Vikings. 28-0. So do you have a favorite team, the Niners? Or by your shirt, I can tell you're a Cardinal fan.
Yes, I am a Stanford fan. I had a choice to go to the Stanford soccer game tonight with my soccer team, but I'd rather do this.
Well, please.
I've been to too many Stanford
Is it
games.
to be able to be with me, because that's too much. That's too much.
So, yeah, well, surprisingly, my favorite football team is the New England Patriots.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Are you trying to suck up to me or something? Did you know that's my favorite team?
No, I did
And also
not.
our cameraman here also wearing a Patriots jersey, in fact, or sweatshirt. There we go. You would think that we're broadcasting Gloucester High School against Boston Prep or
Yeah.
something with all the Red Sox and Patriot fans here.
Been a
Are you from
Patriots fan?
Boston?
No, I'm
okay,
not.
So you're
I'm-
like me.
I'm from
you're,
here.
You're a fraud. No,
Yeah.
No, you're cool.
Yeah, Tom Brady grew up around where I live.
Okay.
So over in Belmont, he grew up in Redwood Shores, which is the town next to us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've always been a Patriots fan. I don't know how I became one. I've
It's
just
because
always
of Tommy.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
so, but I've just always been a Patriots fan my whole life.
Well, Chris fires over the middle, and the pass is complete, but well short of the first down. They needed 12. And it looks like maybe just about 5 or 6 yards there on the completion to Keyshawn Johnson. So Paly will have to punt with 5.5 to go here in the fourth quarter, up 28. Speaking of Tom Brady lookalikes, Keller Chris isn't all that different, frankly. They don't like to run, both of them.
Yes.
That's for sure.
But the only difference is Keller can run.
Keller can. Yeah. That's well. When you're Tom Brady, you don't run.
You
That's
don't
just,
have to.
You do what you want to. Fair catch called for a drop, but then off one bounce, and then for the fair catch. But since the ball was dropped, there should be no fair catch halo.
But it looked like he took a
Rule.
knee, but I'm not sure how you can call that a penalty. They were already in the process of hitting him when he was taking the knee.
Nonetheless, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty there. So very good field position. Earl Hansen right now is saying, "You've got to be kidding me. That was a loose ball." But yeah, as Jeremy said, if the punt returner did put a knee down, then there should be no penalty. Or there should be a penalty, in which case there is now. So exactly 5 minutes left. 1st and 10. San Benito from the 40-yard line of Paly. So going with the wing T formation, in a triangle of backs. Hicks on the carry, running far side, run out of bounds near the first down marker after a gain of about 9. Looks like he'll be just short. But going back to the Patriots story, so you grew up near Tom Brady. My story, when I was really, really young, growing up in Palo Alto, my family almost moved to Boston. And I was very unhappy about the potential of leaving all my friends and leaving this wonderful area. And my parents had to bribe me with Red Sox jerseys and Patriots hats and whatnot to make me kind of want to move out there. And then that got me to dislike the Yankees and like those teams. And I also thought it would be cool to root for teams that nobody else rooted for here. So
I mean, who likes the Yankees?
Well, nobody likes the Yankees, and anybody who does shouldn't. Here's a handoff up the middle to Hicks for a couple of yards. Down to about the 20-yard line. 28-0 Vikings here late in the fourth quarter.
Jack Anderson with another tackle. He has made at least 6 tackles tonight.
I mean, he's the type where if you look at the box scores the next morning, he often has 24 tackles in a game. He's involved in every other play. Motion from left to right, handoff to the up man Noble. Noble has a first down inside the 15, down to about the 11-yard line.
Only about 4 minutes on the clock.
Well, this is really San Benito's chance to score. They have to score now, or they won't have any scores in this game, probably,
Paly
time-wise.
Going for the shutout.
Yeah, they're playing for something there. It's when the game's already locked up, nowhere to go on the far side there for Hicks. Tully McAllister, met him right at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 now from the 11.
Just stopped him in his stride.
Looking ahead for San Benito, it doesn't get a whole lot easier. They will be heading home next week to face Los Gatos. I don't know exactly how Los Gatos is supposed to be this year, but they're never bad, that's for sure. The question is, how great are they? Because they can be really great.
Yes, they can. They are, they always compete. Even if they're not the best team in the world, they're always not losing by as much as the Baylors are now.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Los Gatos actually wasn't as strong last year. Paly didn't have a problem with them. Here, 3rd and 6 from the 7-yard line. Handoff up the middle, very close to the end zone there. Noble.
Looks like within the 1-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and inches. But they can still even get a first down there, but amazingly enough.
Do you think the quarterback's just going to keep it and just try to dive over the line?
I would think so. Especially with how often in this game they've just had Stanton on the keeper.
Stanton has proven that he's very fast.
Okay, now they are changing it to saying that it was a first down. There's so little room there right now. And there is the quarterback keeper, and Stanton is just drilled. I don't think he even saw that one coming. Upended for a loss of about 2. Look at, they saw it better in the live action than in the replay there. It just out of nowhere, it was clocked backwards. So 2nd and goal at the 1. 90 seconds left in the game. The waning moments of the season opener. Handoff up the middle. Zach Hicks, and Hicks is in. Touchdown, San Benito. And the Baylors have
finally got on the board.
Scored for the first time tonight.
Only 1:23 left.
And it took about 46 minutes and 37 seconds in the 48 minutes of the game for San Benito to find the scoreboard. Point after on the way is good. There is a flag down on the play. Well, Paly will feel very good heading out after this game. And really, you should think, I mean, San Benito.
I think he might have hit the holder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, neither did I. I wonder what happened.
Well, San Benito in the state is ranked 248th. I don't know how you come up with something like that. But they did defeat Pioneer High School 31-14 last week. And they were the CCS Division I champions last season. And they defeated Milpitas in the championship game. So I don't know if they just lost a lot of seniors or Paly was that good tonight. I don't think it's either of those.
I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm sure our viewers at home can tell the offense just didn't have firepower whatsoever.
And Paly really didn't look like they had to use much trickery or anything. Just
Paly's only scored once in this second half. They have not been. I don't know if they just decided not to really bring their A game, or it just hasn't been their top game. But they still look commanding. That's for sure. But they're going to have to kick it up a few more notches next week, that's for sure.
So
this is always interesting when you get the 15-yard addition to a kickoff, and you're kicking off from the opponent's 45-yard line.
Yeah, don't have to kick it that far.
So it's pretty easy to kick it out of the end zone there. It's more like a long drive contest.
Looks like he didn't even try to kick it that hard. Still went out of the back of the end zone.
So that is what we call a touchback.
And I believe they're just going to just knee it with Keller.
No, I would think so. Even though both teams have all their timeouts left, I think this game is pretty out of hand for San Benito. And they have the long bus trip back home to Hollister, which is, I think, over an hour away. So it's going to be a late night for San Benito kids.
I ride motorcycles out there. That's well over an hour.
You ride motorcycles?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Out in Hollister, great state park out there. It's really fun.
I don't think I've ever been to Hollister. Is that the town that the San Juan Bautista mission is in?
I think so.
Okay, so then maybe I have been to Hollister. But it's somewhere out there.
Yeah.
I attended college in Southern California, and you eventually get in this mindset once you leave the immediate Bay Area driving south. Well, it's a long ways to Santa Barbara. We're there.
Yeah.
And Hollister is one of those towns, I think. Under a minute to go. And the Palo Alto Vikings, just a few moments from officially becoming 1-0 to begin their 104th season of playing football. This is the 26th year with Earl Hansen at the helm. He will move to 193, 91, and 3. Yes,
that's great trivia. I did no idea that it been around that long.
I did my research. I cannot say that I knew that off the top of my head. Probably one more knee is all that Keller Chris needs, or maybe not even that.
Looks like the game's over.
A commanding performance by the Palo Alto Vikings to begin the 2013 season, and they want to carry this into next week against Smitty and throughout the season as they look to repeat as SCVAL champions. And the official start of the season is a victory for the Vikings. The final score this evening from Honore Field in Viking Stadium, in Palo Alto. The Palo Alto Vikings 28 and the San Benito Hollister Hay Balers 7. Well, really, at no point in time in this game was it all that close either, Jeremy, even though Paly never really broke through. They only won by 21, but really there was a difference between the two teams.
The Paly just looked, I don't know what to say, just better than Hollister did. I mean,
they were stronger, they were faster, they had it going. Keller Crisp, very crisp offensively, throwing, and a pair of touchdowns also for Frick. The senior looked very good. One receiving touchdown, one rushing touchdown. And then, of course, just what penalties can do to you with two of those first half touchdowns for Paly off of fumble recoveries. And those fumbles proved to be very, very unfortunate, very costly for San Benito. As Paly now will have their victory speech from Earl Hansen. I'm sure not everything was perfect. There will be things to work on in the 8 days until the next game, Saturday, September the 21st.
Nothing's perfect, Trevor.
Nothing's perfect, but except the season 2 years ago for Paly, where they went 14-0. Well, our next broadcast is scheduled for a volleyball broadcast at Gunn High School, I believe, Tuesday, September 24th. But visit the Palo Alto Media Center website to find out details about that broadcast once it's official. And, of course, we'll let you know via the website as well about future football broadcasts as well. Well, this was great for our first live broadcast.
Yes, it was.
I think it went really well. And, Jeremy, you did really well.
Thank you.
Hanging in there. Glad you. Hope you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it.
Glad you were able to join me here for the second half. A real pleasure. Once again, the final score here from the season opener and the home opener for the Vikings. They win in style, 28-7 over San Benito. Now for Chuck Alley and all of our Palo Alto Media Center crew, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this first ever live broadcast of a sporting event on the Palo Alto Media Center. It's quite the thrill, and I know for Becky and for Chuck, it has been really a long-time mission, a goal of theirs, and they have reached it. They made it, and glad you, the viewer, could be there as well to watch, because it is for you that we do these broadcasts. So hope you enjoyed it there at home or wherever you might be watching streaming online. Thanks for tuning in. Now for Jeremy, I'm Trevor Felch. Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Again, the final score this evening from Honore Field on the campus of Palo Alto High School. The Paly Vikings 28 and the San Benito Hollister Hay Balers 7. Now, for all of us here at the Palo Alto Media Center, good night.